Have you or someone you know ever been affected by cancer? And were you ever curious about how people deal with cancer, especially when they're in the later stages? Well, stay tuned because today I got a special guest who's going to show us how he is battling with stage 4 cancer. Let's get it. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to another live stream episode of Inspiring Change from the Inside Out. Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. So again, if this is your first time rocking with me, I am here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. This is the quarantine series live on Facebook and YouTube Live. So if you find any value or maybe there's some change that has been inspired from you because of this live stream, go ahead and smash the subscribe button or follow the page on Facebook or YouTube. So what's going on, y'all? Yeah, definitely. Yesterday we had a great episode. Thank you for everyone who tuned in yesterday when we were talking about home workout tips and motivation. Shout out to, again, the Factory Elite Fitness Suspension House family. But today I got a very special guest who I've been actually known for a long time. And now we didn't keep in touch the entire time since we first met, on and off throughout the years, but he's definitely near and dear to me, longtime friend. And it's definitely something special that I want to talk about because I know many of us directly or indirectly have been affected in some way, shape, or form with cancer. And again, we can't control how we get cancer or who gets cancer, but like we always say, we can't control what happens, but we can control how we respond to it. And again, I know me personally, my mom, right? She had breast cancer twice, once in my senior year and then just a couple years ago. So praise God, she's, battling through that. So we know it's never easy, no matter what side of the coin you're on. Maybe some of you have lost family members because of cancer. Maybe you're dealing with it right now. Well, if that's you or again, and you struggle with it today, I have a guest who, again, I've known since high school. We've kind of crossed paths in middle school, but we officially got to know each other in high school. He's also a Vallejo native, right? Vallejo native. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him onto the show. And if you know him and you want to say what's up, please do me a favor and just drop a comment because I will be bringing in your comments just like this. Good morning, Joanne. Once again, I'm going to put a streak, Joanne, to see how many days straight you tune in, even if it's just for a couple minutes, like you're there dropping a good morning. So yes, good morning to you, Joanne. So I'm going to go ahead and being, the Vallejo kid that I am, I'm going to go ahead and bring them in like this. Hey, come on. So anyways, introducing my buddy, my boy, Eric Pangelinan. Good morning. Hold on, brother.
Everybody.
Yeah. What's up, bro? Good morning. Thank you for being on the live stream.
Oh man, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just do this, bro. If you want to just do a quick introduction, but actually, you know what? Before that, I got a surprise for you. So, if you want to tell people what do you remember in terms of how we met? What's your recollection of our first time meeting?
Man, I have a few memories, and I can't remember which was the first one. I know early on we got closer when we were doing teaching and dancing together, but I do remember you from, exactly. But I do remember you from class, and I remember you were just there's no holding back. Your personality was just out there. You're just this bright personality, and people would gravitate towards you, just funny, friendly. And I know when we talked the other day, you kind of had a different idea of who you were back then, but my perception of you, was a bit different. It was just always bright, bubbly, happy, and just nice and friendly.
Right on, brother. Yeah, I appreciate it. So, just to recap for those of you who heard that correctly, yes, when I used to Tahitian dance, Eric was a drummer, but you actually, I think you do dance too, didn't you?
I did, yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
so you did Tahitian dancing. I think we did it together. So shout out to the Hui Tamanui family, Vallejo. We met. That was like I remember. Yeah, that was back in the days. And then we met again, or then we actually like officially started talking in high school, because we had like was it honors English? I think that was our first class together.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it was honors English, y'all. So you know what I'm saying? Don't let the rough exterior fool you. You know what I mean? There's stuff working on up here. So yeah, taking all the honor classes with you. Matter of fact, true story. We were also part of was it CSF? Was that the club?
Um,
California Scholarship Federation,
yeah,
was
yeah,
it,
that was
or
it.
that club? And then we were also part of the Key Club. So shout out to all the Key Club CSF folks out there. And what I remember and what I love the most about being involved in those different clubs. So shout out again to all of the Key Club folks out there, CSF, Honor Society. Was that when senior year? I remember like I ran for Homecoming King, and I remember you needed like a sponsor. Remember that you needed a sponsor to make a float, and again, like for me, I was like, okay, what can I do? Like, how can I build this float? I want it to be nice and whatnot. And I remember going to all the folks in the CSF club to help me put that together, all the engineers, and we did the float. So that was cool. But yeah, so when I tell people like we know each other, right? It's really important. Like straight up, here we go. Check this out. We really do go way back. Bam! Holla back.
Wow,
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we was, what I'm saying, rocking it like that. So that was
wow.
our prom. And again, from Hui Tamanui to honors classes to the prom. And again, for those of you who know us, it was a crazy time back then, but I mean, look at how God works today, right? Like, and
Yeah,
it's funny
straight
because
from the archives.
I don't know why we was trying to look tough. I have the picture of us at graduation smiling, but this was like the only one that I could find. So yes, this is what I'm saying. Me and my boy EP back at our prom. Where was the prom? It was at his
Uh,
lordship's.
his
Yeah.
lordships, yeah.
His lordships. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that back. But yeah, brother. So go ahead and take a moment. And if you could just share with our first time viewers, people who are meeting you for the first time, just a little bit about yourself. And yeah, and just introduce yourself.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, I was born in San Leandro actually, but raised in Vallejo, kindergarten through 12th grade. Left the Bay Area for a while to go to college. Went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Got my degree in mechanical engineering with a minor in psychology. From there, I stayed in Southern California for a while, working with an aerospace company, Meggitt Safety Systems. But I always wanted to get back to the Bay Area because I knew that's where all my family was. That's where most of my friends were, and that's where my heart was. So I just wanted to get back here. And it wasn't until I got kind of comfortable in Southern California. The economy wasn't great. I had a decent job, so I wasn't really motivated to do anything until I met my wife. And one thing led to another. Finally got back to the Bay Area working for as a power plant engineer for United Airlines. They were going to move my job over to Chicago, so I figured it's time to do something else. And for about 5 years, I was a Silicon Valley engineer in San Jose for a company called MechTech. Met a lot of good people, got to travel the world with them. Great experiences, but ultimately decided I needed to make another change because during my time there, I started a family and realized that the work structure, all the travel, all the hours and the commute, it just wasn't compatible with the family life that I wanted to build for me and my family. So at that point, that's when I transitioned over to real estate and have been doing that for the past 4 years and just been loving it.
Cool. Speaking of family, before we get into the real estate piece, so it sounds like you obviously been through a lot of different transitions with your career from where you started after high school to where you are today. But yes, you said you started a family. So let's go ahead and take a moment and let's meet the team here. So if you want to go ahead and shout out the team real quick, if you want to break that down. Hold on, let me take this banner off because I want to show I love the chaka sign he got going on there. Hold on real quick and go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of the photos that I thought most represents my family. I mean, we're silly, we're goofy, we don't take things too seriously, and starts up top with me and my wife Joyce, And at the bottom, you see my oldest one in the green glasses, Elijah Pangelinan, and right next to him, his younger brother, Noah. So these guys are, like I said, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We're simple. We just want to be there for each other, enjoy life, and that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful family, beautiful picture.
Thank you.
When I asked you to send me a picture and you're like, this one best represents, my family. I showed my wife and she's like, oh man, that's, super cute. And again, right, we got to have those whys that keep us going. So you transitioned again from, this career at, was it Cal Poly you said?
Well, my graduated from Cal Poly, but my last engineering career was at MechTech in San Jose.
Yeah, so right from engineering to real estate, because of the choice that you were starting a family and you had to switch it up. So, and I think that's something that people don't realize is that when they see where we are today, understanding and looking at the journey, I think a lot of our young people, especially our younger generations, right, trying to figure out their way, and you don't always have to have it right the first time. I think that's
Right.
the beautiful part about this journey, this thing called life. That's why I got my little life shirt. I got this at the Katina's concert. But anyways, so yeah, so you're doing real estate now. You're back here in the Bay, and I think that's even how we connected. I remember maybe a year or two ago running into you real briefly and seeing you at Mass at Our Lady of Mount
Yes.
Carmel. Shout out to OLMC. And then I think you approached me and yeah, we just, again, we just said what's up. It was good to see each other. And then as time went on, when we had other opportunities, that's how we reconnected. So,
Definitely.
right, it's coming full circle. 21 years later,
Wow,
here
it's
we
been that
are.
long.
Yeah, and then I remember you reaching out to me on Facebook, and you were like, "Hey, bro, like I want to learn, I want to get involved, I want to be able to do more with what I'm doing." You were like, I have a beautiful family, like my career is good, but I still feel like there's more I want to do for others. There's other ways I want to serve. So before we go into that, let's just go into the real estate. If you want to just break that down a little bit, why real estate? How did you get involved with real estate, going from engineering to real estate?
Well, to be honest, I never thought I'd be doing anything like real estate. Coming from the engineering industry and having like that steady paycheck every 2 weeks, I never imagined myself doing something that was commission based or 100% commission based. And it really took a leap of faith for me to give it a shot. And when I told my past realtor, who's actually kind of a cousin of mine, that I was looking to do something different. She's the one who kind of planted the seed, Elizabeth Velasco, our team leader, that, hey, why don't you try real estate? You're sharp, you can talk to people. I think you'd be really good at it. And without really telling her that I made the decision to do it, after about a year thinking about it, I decided, I'm gonna give it a shot. And when I did it, I kind of surprised her because I didn't tell her I was doing that. She thought I was gonna do it part-time and try to get my feet wet, but that's not kind of how I do things. What I did was I basically saved for about 6 to 9 months at my engineering job, just preparing for it because I didn't know when I'd get my next paycheck. And I jumped into it, 100%. I left my job and I didn't even tell her. I just met her, visited her at her office after I got my my license and said, hey, let's do this. I got my license. I'm ready. But my whole thinking was if I did it part-time and I failed, then I would never know if I failed because it wasn't for me or because I didn't give it my all. So I always want to give it my all. If I fail, then I fail hard. And then I always have my engineering degree to fall back on. But I want to make sure that if I give it a shot, I really give it a shot, give it my all. It's kind of how I do everything. And I'd rather give it my all and learn, it's for me or it's not for me, rather than always have a question of, did I fail because I didn't give it my all? Is there something else I could have done? But here I am 4 years later. Obviously, it's been working out for me. I've really enjoyed it and have been fortunate enough and blessed enough to have found some success in it.
Hey, praise God, right? And I think that's a huge lesson for all of us out there listening, right? If you're gonna do something, like don't just do it like half-heartedly or, like go all in. And I think that's something that a lot of us have a hard time with. And it doesn't necessarily even mean like when I think of the word all in, I always think about like, commit with your heart and your mind. Like obviously you got to take care of your responsibilities, but I love how you said, look, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this right. And I love what you said. And if I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail hard, because again, how many times times do we look back at things and we go, man, what if I would have did it a little differently? Or what if I would have gave it a little bit more time? Especially if you're someone out there right now watching this and you're like, hey, people tell you things that you're really good at, but you don't see yourself that way. And you kind of do it, but you kind of don't. Like, take a moment and challenge yourself. Do 30, 60, 90 days of actually just giving it your 120%. And you will be surprised, right? You'll be surprised on what results come out of that. And more importantly, I think, like you said, Eric, like the things that you learned about yourself, the things that you learned about, who you are and how you want to approach life. And I think that's, especially now, right? When you reached out to me again last month and I saw your video and you posted, the news about finding out, bro, that you had stage 4 cancer, right? I think that, all the things that you've been through in your life, in my opinion and my belief is that is preparing you for this moment. All the changes that you made from engineering to real estate, from making that decision, got to get back on the feet. So making that decision to be with, your family. And I think that one thing that we have to remember, y'all, is that, it all starts with that decision and it all starts with that mindset of doing the right thing. So Eric actually just, he's off the feed right now and I'll wait for him to get back. But while we wait for him to get back, what's that one thing, if you're watching live right now, type in the comments, what's one thing that you kind of do, or maybe you thought of doing that people tell you you're really good at, and maybe you're a little reluctant, or maybe you're a little hesitant for whatever reason, right? And there's no judgment there. I'm just curious, what are some things that if you knew, right, it goes back to that same question, if you knew you could not fail, what would that one thing be? And I think a lot of the times, what's up, my cuz? Good morning, Chris Castro. For those of you know, Vallejo Fairfield, a native. He's also part of the Vision Basketball. So if you know Vision Basketball, you definitely know Chris Castro. Good morning, cuz. Thank you for being on the feed this morning on the live stream. But yeah, so the question is, what would be that one thing that you would do if you knew you could not fail? And I think that a lot of the times our mindset is, well, what if it does fail? And I'm like, no, but what if it doesn't? Like, right? People go, oh, what if it doesn't work? No. Not what if it doesn't work? Ask yourself, what if it does work? And I think once we look at and approach things in that light and in that way, the game changes tremendously. Yes, the game changes tremendously. So while we're waiting for Eric to get back on, because, technology is always going to try to find a way to stop good things, from happening. So for those of you jumping on the stream, this is a Facebook and YouTube live stream. So if you're finding any value, please considering joining the tribe and clicking subscribe on the link below if you're watching this on YouTube, or following the page, facebook.com/Ryan, RHYAN Ramirez. So you can stay notified and stay up to date again, because this channel is all about inspiring change from the inside out. Yeah, so we're rebranding and repivoting the brand. So yes, let's see here. Yes, starting a new Nerdy Catholic podcast. Okay, right on. Yes, so Lady Ophelia, do it. Definitely do it. Try. Like, what have you got to lose, right? So for those of you jumping on, they're just typing in, what are some things you would do if you could not fail, right? If you could not fail, what would some of those things be? So thank you for doing that. I will definitely keep your podcast in my prayers, right? Again, a Nerdy Catholic podcast. Oh, I see like a lot of theology in there. I think that's going to be something nice to just, really get into. So also, go ahead while you're here on the stream, while we're waiting for Eric to get back on. I'm not sure what happened with his well, obviously technology, but yeah, so today again we're just talking about the time when he called me. And I'll be honest, when he called me, I was really shocked and surprised that he had all this stuff going on. And when he shared with me his sickness and what he was going through, again, not after seeing each other for so many years, I was like, okay, there's a reason that we're recrossing paths. There's a reason that, we see each other at church. There's a reason that, I have this platform to inspire change, and then I'm providing, positivity, mindset, motivation. There's a reason for all of this. And what if I said no? What if I was like, you know what, I'm just going to continue to work at the hospital. I'm just going to do my day job. Or what if, when I decided to leave the hospital and follow my heart, what if all that happened? Would we even be meeting Eric today? Right? Would we even be meeting him today? So he is back. Good morning. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that. My power went out. The lights went out, so my router went out. but I jumped on my phone, so here we
Oh
are.
yes, no worries. You are back. So let's. So I while we were waiting, I was just just telling folks like what would that one thing be like if you knew you couldn't fail, right? Because we're just talking about mindset and just taking those risks and having the right mindset. So let's just go ahead and jump into it, bro. So yeah, so a couple months ago or like a month ago, you shared some news with not just me but with your friends, family, Facebook community, and how was it? Like if you can just take us through that time for you.
Man, I'll be honest, it was devastating. The first 7 to 10 days after finding out that I had cancer, stage 4 cancer, at that, uh, I mean, it tore me down a little bit. Like initially, I didn't know if I had 3 to 6 months or what. And I just all these thoughts running through my mind. Funny enough, I had a moment of clarity instantly, and I felt fine. Like I was like, you know what? If it was just me, um, I'm okay with this. Like I've been happy. I had a great childhood. Great parents brought me up, and happy kid. Um, got to experience a lot in college, and afterwards got to travel the world. Met the love of my life. Got 2 great kids. Love my job. Like I was like, I'm set. I'm good. But the thing that really hit home to me, the thing that drove me or drives me right now to really beat it is my family. Like my kids, they're 5 and 6 years old, and they're great kids. I can't say enough about them, but I want to be there with my wife to help her out and raise my 2 kids, show them, how I take a look at things and how to approach things. I want to be there for them when it's tough, and I want to be there when it's great and celebrate their wins with them. And the selfish reasons, it's selfish too, because I just personally want to see them, grow into their greatness and see what they gravitate towards. And when I say greatness, I don't expect them to be millionaires or drive fancy cars or this and that. I just want to see them thrive in whatever it is that they find passion in. And that's what really motivates me. Those two kids and my wife, like if I didn't have them, I'd be content to just kind of run down the rest of the days, whatever they may be. But because of them, I'm asking God for 25 plus years is what I'm asking for. And I know it's a big ask. I'm not asking him to change anything, but I'm just praying that it's in his plan.
Amen. Yeah. So, and if you could, just for clarity, for our viewers who may not know you, and again are just meeting you for the first time, can you just take us through that moment, what kind of cancer you have, and then like, because I know it just kind of came out of nowhere. So if you can just take us through that real quickly.
Right. So I have stage 4 Ewing sarcoma. It's a rare type of cancer, and it's typically found in kids, young kids. Back in January, I think the first sign of it was I was feeling this hot burning sensation behind my right shoulder blade, and being the age that I am, we're not 20, 25 anymore, and things are starting to feel different. So I thought I just pulled a muscle, and I was doing my best to just stretch it out, take some leave and kind of worked a little bit. But the following days, I started to feel like a numbing sensation in and around my shoulder. And, that was a red flag for me. I knew that wasn't normal. So went to go see the doctor, realized, he sent me over to an orthopedic specialist, and both of them kind of had the same idea that it was a pinched nerve in my neck. While they were working on that and trying to figure out how to best resolve that, like a few weeks later, I noticed, and I've noticed it before, but I noticed like kind of a lump right here at the top of my pectoral muscle underneath my clavicle. And it's funny because prior to this diagnosis, I was going pretty consistently to Benicia boxing. Boxing is one of my favorite sports. It's how I like to stay fit. And I would always warm up with my hand like on that spot, and I never realized that, hey, something's wrong. I always just figured that I'm right-handed, so it's natural for my right side to be a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit bigger. But one day I just showed my wife, and I was like, hey, does this look weird to you? And she was like, yeah, you got to go see the doctor right away just to be safe. Went to see the doctor right away. One thing led to another. When they did an X-ray, they didn't see anything here in the X-ray because this was actually a soft tissue mass, but they did find some things in my lungs that were of concern. So that kind of spread off a bunch of tests and realized that I had, after all is said and done, turns out I have this large soft tissue mass underneath my major pectoral muscle, which is a sarcoma, the Ewing sarcoma, and it's had already spread. It was a fast growing cancer and it had already spread to both my lungs. That's kind of how I found out.
Wow. So currently, right? I know you said you started chemo just recently, and wow, stage 4, and it's spreading. You said in both of your lungs. Is that what you said?
Yes, in both my lungs already.
Wow. And so yeah, and you just shared again like the shock that you had and how devastating it was, and how was your family's reaction when you shared the news with them? Like,
well, it's been tough for everybody. And Joyce has been doing a great job at helping me out, supporting the family, and doing things that I'm not able to do when I'm going through my treatments. But we've been overall, I gotta say we've been doing well. After that initial 7 to 10 day shock, I've been like just laser focused on getting better. And it's weird, it's not even I tell people sometimes I don't know if it's just strong faith that I have or if I'm a little bit in denial or a little bit of both. But right now, if you were to ask me, like, I don't feel sad. I don't feel sometimes I forget that I have cancer. I just feel like I'm going to a doctor to get something fixed. And I just have faith that, after these six rounds of chemo, I'm just going to be fine. Like, even when the thought first crossed my head before I even saw the doctor and with a, kind of a lump, I was thinking like, man, what if this is cancer? My first instinct was like, yeah, if it is, like, so be it, I'll beat it. It's just going to be another part of my story, something else that I can be proud of and share with other people. And, so something inside me instinctually, whether it's the faith or, I don't know what, but I just feel confident, especially like knowing like I know God's by my side and I know that with him, anything is possible.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's really important for all of us out there. Like whatever we go through, and like we say time and time again, we can't control what happens, but we can control how we respond to what happens. And I believe that your mindset is a huge part of it. Your faith, your belief system, right? Knowing that you've done everything you can, like like you've accomplished so much in this lifetime that you can be okay. Like you said, I could be okay if it was just me, but because it's not just you, there's family members and friends and your immediate family that you'd be leaving behind is something that keeps you going, which I believe is, again, hustle like a hero. We can see that in the background right there. So I love that motto. I see that, and again, hustle like a hero. If you can just take us, what does that mean?
Well, I came up with it after my first year in real estate because I wanted to come up with some branding for myself. And I really wanted to think about it. I didn't want to just throw something out there. So it took me a while because I wanted to think of, what represents me, what represents how I work for my clients, what do I provide them with? And I just always get this connection with my clients, and I feel, very responsible for them and helping them either buy or sell their home. And so I'll work the late hours. I mean, like people think of real estate is one way to make easy money. It's not easy money. Like I was, on average, there's some weeks where I was working 60 hours a week plus, and it's not something that I could just drop, and because I want to do this or that. Like I felt a responsibility to my clients. So I always hustled. I always did what I could to make it work. The long hours, working the weekends, anything I could do to make it work for my clients. Like I always wanted to go that extra mile because for me, it wasn't just a transaction. It wasn't just a paycheck. This was a family who was like, maybe getting their first home or going through a hardship and they want to move on to the next chapter of their life. So I had to help them sell their home so I can kind of move on. So it really meant a lot to me.
Absolutely, brother. And I think that's really important again, right? Of being of service to other people, no matter what you're going through and no matter what you're dealing with. And I think you are a great example of that. I love how, again, you're just really using this positivity of like, it is what it is. I am where I am. I'm going to give it up to the Lord. I'm going to give it up to knowing that you're putting in work, right? And that's what I love. The best part is like, I always, tell people like, we can't just pray and expect things to happen. Like we still got to do the work, right? God's going to provide for those who do the work. And And I think that you doing the work, not just to provide for your family, but just being open and honest with them, spending time with them is really important. So for those who are out there right now that might be struggling, maybe they have cancer or they're dealing with it, or maybe they, are feeling, different. Cause then, like you said, like, your body better than anyone else. And I know a lot of times, folks struggle with that and getting checked and going out there. What would your message be for all those right now who are dealing with cancer, or maybe family members who are supporting those with cancer? And before you do that, just got a couple comments here I want to bring on. Leilani says, hey, yes, Faith. Good morning, Leilani. And then we also have Arlene from Sacramento. She said, that's amazing, to one of the comments that we made earlier. And Joanne, yes, she's sending her prayers out for you and their families. So yeah, brother, what would your FTIO message, right? Everything's from the inside out. Like, what is on the inside that you would share with the world in terms of like for those who are dealing with, battling with, or even who have lost their battle to cancer, in terms of like family support and things of that nature?
Well, I think, there's a lot I could speak on hours for it, but to really boil it down, what I've been telling other people is that, the chemo, it can weaken my body. That's just a fact. And it has, definitely taken a toll on my body, but it can't touch my faith and it can't touch my mindset. Those are two things that I have 100% control over, and they matter. They matter a lot. Spiritually, it keeps me comfortable. Like I said, like I just know that I'm going to be all right, and I find comfort in that. And with the mindset, like just to be positive, I mean, it makes such a huge difference. I mean, it's not, just a theory that there's a connection between your mind and your body. Like it's real. Like, and it too, when you're depressed, when you're, you go through a heartbreak and you feel it like in your heart and your stomach, in the pit of your stomach, that's a physical reaction, from your feelings and how you're thinking and how you're feeling. So, the way you look at things, the way that you approach it, if you can come at it with positivity, it can only help. Sure, there's a lot of components that have to come together to make you better, but do what you can with the things that you can control is what I'd recommend.
Yes. Amen. And again, we got Jennifer Clary, shout out to, she's like, yeah, love the positive attitude. And we know how far, right, our attitudes can take us when it comes to dealing with all kinds of hardships. Now, here's another question that I have in our, as we get ready to wrap up. And again, for those of you just, again, joining the live stream, who just jumped on midway through, or even just now, my boy, Eric Pangelinan, old high school friend, right, from 20 plus years ago. We reconnected just recently, and he just, he just found out just recently that he had stage 4 cancer, Ewing sarcoma, and he's battling it. He's, hustling like a hero, remembering his why. Good morning, Chavez. Thank you for jumping on again from Arizona. And, at the end of the day, he's not going to be defeated. He's going to hustle like a hero. He's going to fail hard. Like he said, when he was first getting into real estate, he was like, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail hard. And I love, again, the mindset, the attitude, right? The being grounded in your belief, whether it's God or the universe, whatever your belief is, right? Just being grounded in that. I think there's peace there when we know, like, we're grounded and we know we're rooted. What's going to happen is what's going to happen. So I really appreciate that now. So one thing that I'm doing that's new for some other projects I'm doing is I'm asking this question, and this will be one of our final questions for as we wrap up. And the question is, before we do some shout outs, what message do you have for 2 to 3 plus generations from now? Because I always believe that sharing our story is important, especially with our kids and even grandkids. But like looking deeper than that, like 2 to 3 generations from now, what would you want not just your family to hear, but other generations to hear? What would that message be?
Well, I think when we grow up, so many of us are focused on getting these big careers and making all this money, and just sometimes it's not even about the vanity of it. Sometimes it's just trying to be comfortable knowing that you're secure, and there's some value in that, and I still believe in that. But I think the priority for me, looking back, one thing that I'd like to stress is the priority is finding something that you're passionate about, something that you feel good about, that you're bringing value, and that when you look back at your life, something that you can be proud of. I forgot who told me or where I read this, but a great way to kind of lay out the plan for your life is to write your own obituary. And, you know, what do you want people to say about you? What do you want your legacy to be? And once you figure out what that is, then it's easy to just lay out a plan and follow it, you know. That's kind of where what I think is the best way to approach it. What legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to remember about you? And where do you want to impact people? And then that can drive you, your whole life.
Yes, and threw a little bit of inspirational music there in the background for us. And leave your legacy. And as we get ready to wrap up, bro, if there's any shout outs that you would like to give before we get off this live stream.
Well, definitely. I mean, I know it can be cliche, but it's also very sincere. Like, I should give a shout out to God. He's, I truly believe he's who's carrying me through this, and I wouldn't be this comfortable, this confident, or this positive without knowing that he was by my side, walking me through this. But on top of that, he's doing all the people who's helping him do his work, the people at the North Bay Cancer Center, primary care physicians, Stanford, Dr. Gandro at Stanford. Got to thank them for putting together a treatment plan to help me get better. Definitely got to thank my team, the Velasco team at Remax Gold, and the whole Remax family at that, who've been just freaking amazing the whole way through. But all my friends and family, I've been blessed to have such an amazing support system. Just this outpouring of love, prayers, and support constantly coming out from different directions, even from people who I haven't heard from in forever or haven't even met sometimes. So they reached out to me and showed support. But, definitely, last but not least, got to give it up to my wife, Joyce. She's been, taking us like a champ and helping us out, helping me out. And, she's just been amazing. The way she handles our kids, the way she supports and manages our family and supports me. Man, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, or wouldn't have the smile on my face and be that positive had it not been for her and her continued love and support. So definitely, I'm a lucky man.
Praise God. Yes. Amen. And with that, we are, let me just get a couple comments out here real quick. We have, while you were sharing, we had Leilani, so good. Chavez says, absolutely, this will not define his life. God is in control. My boy Jesse, who's in Arizona, originally from Fairfield, he's like, prayers up. Brother Eric, thanks for sharing your story. Definitely sprouted and shredded some positivity today. Praying for you, bro. So definitely, y'all. We want to thank you again for taking your time and being with us today. Again, our goal here on this channel is to inspire change from the inside out. And so with that, we are going to leave on that positive note. Matter of fact, let's go back to what we had earlier. Here we go. Come on. Hey, we going to leave on that because we're both, you know what I'm saying, repping Vallejo kids, putting that E40 on for you. But Eric, we thank you for your time. We are going to keep you in our thoughts and in our prayers, brother. Again, to be continued. The journey continues. And we are out of here. Thank you again for tuning in. Remember, I am here every morning, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook and YouTube Live. Again, where we are all about inspiring change from the inside out. And we out of here, y'all. Peace.